Hello. This session is supposed to give you guidance on how to start your BPMN diagramming. In module number 2, we expected to start BPMN diagramming. And a BPN is simply a business process model. And when you're developing a model, you need to use some notations. And there is this reference. You go to this site, commando.com/bpmn/reference. That gives you a list of all the symbols that you can use when you are starting to diagram your business processes. So if you come here, there's a list of these symbols, how you're supposed to start, or the symbols that you can use when starting a process, symbols that you can use in the intermediate steps, and even symbols that you can use when you are ending a process. So when you're starting a normal process, this is a symbol that you would use, and you'll be seeing much more how to use that symbol. And again, this is how you would end that given process for termination. So all these are symbols that you can use. Again, there are many other symbols that you can be able to see on the left. For example, we are representing tasks, sub-processes. So this is how it is supposed to be. Let's see, a sub-process. This is how a sub-process would actually look like. And we are going to see on that how we work it out. Now, when you are developing a business process model, it's very important for you to be able to recognize the participants who are in that particular business process. And this is where the aspect of swimlane comes in. So if you look, we have on the left again, we have an aspect of lanes. And for example, this is a fat sharing community. Then we have Christian, we have Falco, and we have Robert. Now, a lane is simply a section, and it's clearly indicated here, this section, the one in orange. So this section contains all the activities that are performed by Christian. This other one contains all the activities that are performed by Falco and other activities that are performed by Robert. So each of these is a swim lane, and it represents a particular actor within a process. So this is a swim lane. So it is a lane that have activities for that particular actor. All right, so it's important, just get to know about the symbols, about the participants or the lanes or the swim lanes. And the other most important is to understand the gateways, or what I would call the decision symbols. Very important. For example, you have exclusive, you have parallel, you have inclusive, event-based, and let's just see about exclusive. So assuming you want to make a meal, that's what you want to have at the end of the day, and you are hungry, but for you to make a meal, you need to choose a recipe. And what you want is just a meal, but is it your desired dish, what you want to develop? So let's say the desired dish that you want to cook pasta. So you can cook pasta, and that can still give you um, a meal that you can eat. However, you may still desire to have some pasta, and you include some steak into it. So here you have some options. So this decision allows you to have options, and this would be a good option when you are dealing with a yes or no case. There's information passed through a particular process. For example, when an approval needs to be done, this is a very good symbol to use, because you can use one of the option of a yes or another one as a no to make a particular decision. So in this case, we want to make a meal, so we want to cook some pasta and add some steak. And you can even have other options. You can even include a salad. You can even add another one here so that you have multiple decisions. So it can be one, you can have two, you can have three, you can have four, then you can combine them here and have your meal. So this is an exclusive gateway. You have other types of gateways. Again, for example, parallel gateways. So when you're looking at a parallel gateway, it allows you to combine some aspects. For example, here, all you want is to eat a meal. You choose a recipe, you prepare a salad. So salad will be part of your meal. So it becomes a key component. If you look up here, salad was an all. It's something that you would select as you're preparing for that meal. But here it is something that must be in the meal, and then you can use the decision symbol to add now the options. So in such a case, we are using the gateway to assist, or we want the salad to be part of it. So you're combining it this step. Then the other option is the inclusive all. So at the end of the day, we still need a meal. We choose a recipe, but for you to make your dish, uh, we need to figure out what do we need to include. So you are looking at desired components that you'd want to include. One of that would be, of course, you need to prepare the dish, but you could also include a salad. So again, it becomes an option, but you include it before the other items that you actually have to work with. As you can see here, you can make pasta, which could, become part of your meal or become your meal, but you're including the salad, and the salad becomes part of your meal even before you actually make the decision. So this could be something else that will still become your meal. So instead of pasta, you can still have something else. But now we are using this symbol to show that the salad is actually part of the meal that you're taking in this case. All right, so we have other types of gateways again that I would recommend that you go through. And I'd like us to let's have a look at one case example doing this diagramming. So just yes, then we look at this case. So here we have a process for pizza sales supply. So you have a supplier, but in the supply process, there is a person who bakes a pizza and another one who delivers the pizza. In this case, you're calling them the delivery boy. So you have the customer who places an order, and the pizza baker receives an order as an email, as a message. And this starts the process for them to supply the pizza. So the pizza baker bakes the pizza, and once they are done, they give the delivery boy the pizza, who delivers the pizza and takes the money, and the process ends. So here we can see we only have two lanes that shows the supply part, but of course this one came from somewhere, so there was another lane of the customer who initiated this process. So that can be presented by this. The customer, they go to the platform, they choose a pizza, they order the pizza, and once they order the pizza, then the order is received. The pizza baker continues baking the pizza, hand it over to the delivery boy, and the delivery boy, notifies, the customer the pizza is ready. So they deliver the pizza, and then the customer pays, and the delivery boy takes the money, and because they are part of the pizza sales supply, then the process can end up that. So we like to see how would you diagram such a case, and you're going to diagram a very simple case just to illustrate this process. So I'm going to my BPMN diagram on my BPMN tool, and I would like to just guide you. So we'll be diagramming using this tool, BPMN.io, and I would recommend it for a very good reason. It's a very easy to use tool to use. You don't have to register. Yes, you just diagram, you get your diagram, and that's it. So once you go to BPMN.io, click on Try Online. And then there are two options. There is Open and Create. So you'd want to develop a diagram from scratch. So we click on Create. If you had a diagram that you wanted to update, then you could have selected it using the option Open. So let's create. So this gives you this page where you can diagram. So I'm going to remove this symbol for start so that we can just start the process. So if you remember how our lanes look like, or the participants in the pizza ordering process, we have three participants. You have the customer, and then you have the baker, and you have the delivery boy. The baker and the delivery boy are, they are part of the entire pizza ordering process. So it's kind of, they have their own sub process. If you remember the symbols that we actually looked into, remember the sub process. Yes, this is sub process. So they have their own, small kind of process, and we are going to look into that as well. So when you're diagramming, so you can come to this part where you have the various symbols. If you want to see the other symbols, you can click on more, and you can search for a symbol that you actually want to use, and all of them are here. So we're going to click on the participants or creation of the pools or the swim lanes, and we drag it to the right. And then we'll need, so I'm going to show you two ways in which you can be able to create our diagram. So the first one is to have the three lanes. So if you click this, more symbols will appear. So we can divide it into 2 or 3. Or you can, so we divide it into 2, then you're going to have 2 lanes. We divide it into 3, we are going to have 3 lanes, which is what we want. But again, you can also add another lane on top, for example, like that. Or you can add another one below this. So we just need the 3 lanes like that. And if you double click here, the cursor will give you a section where you can be able to label it. So we're going to call it pizza process like that. And you can double click here, you have the customer. Here we have the baker. Here we have what I saw being reported as certain and report. Yeah, and we need to check that. It depends while checking the reference. All right, so we have this, but we said we can combine this into some process. So if you were to do that, let's just check how it actually looks like. So you can underline below that, and size it. Now for this one, we can still divide it into 2 so that we have a diagram that looks like what you have here. Yeah, so if you want to develop, a lane that looks like this, so you have another one that, is a sub-process for the supplier, the baker, and the deliverable. So what you need to do, on this part, you click on the one that you want to divide into two, then you just divide into two. So that here we have these ordering process, and the top one is for the customer, then this one is for the supplier, and here is the baker, and here is the part. Yes. So you can have it this way. It just depends with, what do you want to come up with. Again, you can just diagram it to suit your purpose. You can resize it the way you actually want. All right, so as I said, this is an option to what you have on the left. So we have the customer initiate the process, so we can come here and start an event. So you have the customer, and the customer does one thing. So they choose Visa. So you're assuming this is an online platform where they could be doing this. So we can resize it so that everything fits very well here. It space so that we can now call it later. So let's resize it like that. So we have the customer just that. And we can just resize that. So the customer chooses the pizza, and they can proceed on and, even order the pizza. The pizza if they like what they have seen on the platform. Once they order the pizza, now this will flow to the pizza baker, who will bake the pizza like that. And once they are done, then they can be able to hand it over to the delivery guy, who will deliver pizza. And this will be taken to the customer, who will receive pizza, and they can proceed on and pay for the pizza. Pizza. Is it a bit? And once they pay for the pizza, they can end the process and, they enjoy themselves. But again, once they pay for the pizza, this money needs to be, be given to the delivery guy here. So here we have it. So they receive the money. So this is a very simple process for illustrating what would actually happen. But you note all these are activities, and we don't have at any point where you're making any decision. And a very good example where you'd make a decision is actually where the customer is choosing the pizza before they actually make an order. Because pizzas, they have different sizes, different pricing, so they can choose a pizza. So we can come here and delete this so that we add a process. So these are simple for including a gateway. So we're going to include a gateway of, they they want to buy a pizza, or they don't, they feel there is no pizza that, suits them well, and they end the process. So we can include this and drag it up here. So at this point, we can say that if the customer is happy with what they have seen, then they can order the pizza and do it like that. So you can double click here and order visa. Otherwise, they can just end the process if they are not happy with what they are seeing. It's going to have it there. So it's done. And so they are not happy with what they have seen. So they can just end the process at that point. Otherwise, they would just continue and order the pizza. Again, you can include other decisions at this point. Again, even for the pizza baker, what type of decision would they, make, to improve this entire process? Yeah, so you can decide what other decision they will make, even for the delivery boy. Again, maybe they have various options to choose from on the mode of delivery. Again, you can choose a bike or you can use any other medium. So that would be, a form of decision making, but all depends. But the point is, when you are adding a decision step, like what you have done here, it must again show the value that it is adding to the process. Because like at this point, we are adding a decision step here to show that, the customer gets what they are looking for. So they need to get value uh, by them, deciding at this step. Yes, so this is how you'd actually do it. And again, just include the relation points like I've mentioned. And again, you can have everything which is here and you ship it to this other side. Again, it will just fit well because, for example, all these sections will fit into the customer part. This part would fit in here. The deliverable will have two these other activities. I just failed to mention that at this point, when the delivery boy gets the money, they can so as well end the process. So you can have multiple end event steps, but you have only one start event. If you remember what we had before, where we had a symbol that looked like start with an email. So that one again is dependent on start message event here. So this started as a result of the fact that there was a message that was received, and again that could still be added into the process, and you can refer to the reference that I've shared or for Commander. All right, so once you have this, now the big question comes in, how do you export this into your A3 report? Because you'll be expected to have at least two diagrams, one illustrating how the current process looks like, and another one illustrating how the process would look like once you have integrated technology. So the easiest way would be to use a snipping tool in Windows. So we can use the snipping tool and snip this. And that. And save it. Save it there. Then we can insert it like that. So that is your BPMN diagram. Excuse me. So this is one way of having the diagram. If you need it on a Word document like the report now said, you need to have two diagrams, one illustrating how the current conditions look like, and another one illustrating how the desired process will actually look like. So I'm going to remove this. So just remove that. Now you can again download what you call an SVG image. However, the SVG will not, maybe you can just download it. The SVG will not display very well on Microsoft Word. So we will come and include the SVG. Again, as you can see, we are not able to see what is there, but you can see there is an image that cannot be displayed. However, the image can display very well on a browser. And let me just show you. So we want to open this. It is this one here. You can see it is able to open very well on a browser. So even as you're making the submission, if you have such an image as your BPMN diagram, you can still submit it as part of your submission. I will be able to view it without any issues. But for it to fit into the A3 report, that might not work. Now, you note that there is another option, diagramming. There is another option for downloading a BPMN 2.0 file. Again, you can use this option to save what you have here. Remember, you did not create any account, which means if you leave this browser, your work is gone. You'll have to start again from scratch. So you can save this file so that you're able to edit it later. So even if now we close this, and we come again to try online, we can still reopen this. So you click open, click on your diagram. You can just continue on and edit your diagram. So this will become very useful. This will become very useful when you be working on milestone number 2 and the final project, where the final project expects you that you work with milestone 1 or milestone 2. You can save the diagram that you are going to develop in milestone 1, the one that you're going to develop in milestone 2, because you need those diagrams later when you'll be doing your final project. Yeah, so I hope this is helpful, and I'm looking forward to receiving quality BPMN diagrams from you. In case you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and I will clarify any questions that you may be having. I'm looking forward to supporting you in this process. So thank you.